Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to this trade recap video. This is going to be just a review of the trade we took today during PM session, August 17th on NQ. So we did have a live session this morning, and we wanted to see price sell off on NQ down to these daily lows. So we wanted to see this daily low get taken out on NQ. It had already been taken out on ES previously, but we just decided that we felt like price was going to take out this low on NQ as well and not leave any sort of SMT divergence. So coming into this morning session, we didn't really have anything clean and clear. The best possible entry would have been during opening bell, which if you guys obviously know me, I don't really like to trade right at market open. I like to let the first 30 minutes of price play out, in trade after that opening range is put in. But just a little hindsight, we see price leave those daily lows intact, so we still know that the draw is lower. We retrace back up into this 15-minute fair value gap, into this 15-minute breaker block, and then we see price aggressively sell off pretty much in one straight move down, but we keep that low intact. In fact, we actually created a relative equal low because we did put we tapped off that same exact low that was already sitting there waiting to be taken out. So when we saw that, and then we saw price begin to retrace back up, I didn't want to get long because knowing that the draw is still lower, I just felt like it was a risky long. But I did say if we can return to these levels up in here, 15-minute time frame, we see what? We see a 15-minute breaker inside of a 15-minute inefficiency. This is actually a 30-minute fair value gap as well, also a 30-minute breaker. So these two time frames is perfect. We marked out the bottom of this zone about halfway through that 30-minute fair value gap, right at the beginning of this breaker block, and waited for price to tap into that. We saw at the end of New York lunch, price tap into that level right at the very end of lunch, and then we see price start to react off of it very nicely. Was waiting for displacement and a nice market structure shift. Got that right here. Nice displacement down through this low. Fair value gap right here. Really simple, really clean entry inside of that fair value gap, and was only in drawdown for basically the duration of 1.5 of these candles, so about a minute or so. And then we sold off. I did one contract sell on Top Step, and took the trade on MetaTrader as well. This was where we removed our risk. Price did come back close to entry, but didn't take us out. And then price sold off. TP1, TP2. This is where I ended up closing my one contract on NQ for Top Step. Basically, price started to act as if it was going to slow up here. And this is also getting towards the end of the macro. Right, so this was where we kind of ranged for the last 10 minutes of the macro. So that's where I closed that one contract and then held runners on MetaTrader down to these levels. So TP3 was this low, and then TP4 was the low of day, or that low right there. And I think there's still much lower that we could run. I did leave a runner on for a little bit, but did end up closing it when it started pulling back here with displacement. That's when I closed the runner that I had on MetaTrader. So I'm fully out of this trade, fully out of this position, but great trade, start to finish. Tapped off that higher time frame PD array, dropped down to the 1 minute, found our entry. One thing that I noticed about this trade, which is another reason I didn't hold the one contract, is on ES, we were actually, that same fair value gap is right here. That same fair value gap is right here on ES, but I didn't hold the NQ contract to the low of day on Top Step simply for the fact of we were already outpacing NQ on ES. We had already started to take out the low of the day as we were already just at TP2 on NASDAQ. So that was another reason that I closed it. I'm like, well, maybe there's a chance that it doesn't take out the low of day, just yet. And I didn't want to run the risk of having it come all the way back, get me out, and then, who knows what. But yeah, great trade. We had a losing week last week. Obviously, this week has gone much better. We've had one losing trade this week. It was a 4-point loss on ES, and we've had two pretty nice winning trades on NQ. TP3 on, what was it? Wednesday or Tuesday. I don't even remember. Yeah, TP3 was hit on NQ earlier this week, and then we just hit a final, TP4. So net handles gained. We're definitely far in the positive and in the green for this week. But yeah, great trade. I do plan on trading tomorrow. There is no news or anything like that. I do anticipate that we're going to have a pretty decent TGIF setup because this week has just pretty much done nothing but just sell off, and I think that there's still more room to go. We got one more macro left for today, and I think today, tomorrow, AM session, I think we could see a further push down, maybe tapping into this order block here on the daily for NQ. ES, similar story. I think ES could reach for this low though, so we'll see where we are at come tomorrow. But yeah, great trade today. Just wanted to make sure I posted a video on it. We didn't do a live Zoom for this trade, but we did. I did call it out in the Discord here, so I'll just show you guys where I sent it. Sent the trade right here, 12:13 Central. So let's see. It wasn't much waiting before the trade activated. 12:13 is right here. So 2 minutes later, it tapped in. Another minute later, it was still there. Another minute after that, had one final chance before it left. So you had probably a few, 3, 4, 5 minutes or so to enter once the signal was sent out. And from there, basically just told them when I was removing risk. And then told everybody TP1, TP2, TP3, and then finally TP4. So yeah, great trade. And yeah, let me know if you guys caught this today. Let me know how you guys did today. If you guys traded, it was a little bit trickier in the AM session. PM session was definitely much nicer and much easier to find an entry opportunity. But with that, that is all for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.